Hello guys, welcome to another video. In this video, we will be seeing some of the functionalities or the techniques which we use using PyArrow. So we'll be covering mostly on what are the data types we have, how to create arrays, how to create union arrays, struct arrays, and how to create record batch, how to create tables, and how to apply aggregation operation and PyArrow tables, how to join to PyArrow tables. All these kind of some real-time use cases we will be covering up. Okay. So I just imported the required libraries here. I am using random module from Python to generate the random data. That's it. So in any language we have the data types, right? Int, string, float, double, and all those. Similarly here we have the data types like int 64, float 64, string. This is how we declare. Like we imported PyArrow as PA, right? So PA dot int 64, PA dot string. So here what are we doing? We are explicitly creating the schema here. If you see PA dot field, what is the name of the field and its data type. Again, PA dot field, what is the name of the field, its data type, and a metadata for that field. If you see the metadata, we have to mention like random note, like you have to explain the column. That's it. That's what the metadata means here. And now using all these fields, I am creating a schema here. If you see PA dot schema of all the field names. So you can use this schema and you can create the tables or record batch or everything. Now here I am showing you how to create the record batch. If you ask me what exactly is a record batch, it's just nothing but a table only. We can call it as a slice of the table where we can have fixed length of columns and fixed number of rows and everything here. All the columns are of same data type, something like that. It's kind of literally a table only. But we can just call it as a slice of a table, something like that. And if you see, I'm just creating a data. And how I am creating a data? Using the arrays. So PA dot array of 1, PA dot of array of this one, PA dot array of this one. So I'm just binding all this into this particular list. So now this data and this schema which we have created, I am creating a record batch. You can even create the table as well, which I have created down. I'll show you. So this is how we create the record batch and we can print them. If you see, we have created, and now if you see the first schema, I'm printing the ID, this one, name, this one, and the score as double. That's it. And now if you see what is the, if you want to see the schema of this record batch dot schema we have printed, and the same whatever the schema we have created, that has printed. And if you print the record batch, which is nothing but the actual data, it is nothing but a slice of a table only. That's it. So this is how we declare the custom schema. This is one example. And next, if you want to declare any specific array and convert it into a Python list, we can even do that. If you see, I'm using the numpy np.random.randint. Using this, we can get the random integers, right? So how many integers if you want? I want 10 integers. That's it. That's what I mentioned. And I'm converting into a list, Python list. And using that Python list to create a PyArrow array. So I have created this particular arrow, and again in case if I want to convert it into a Python list, we have a method called toPyList. That's it. So using which we have created first the PyArrow array and then the plain Python list. That's it. So if you see, I just created random numbers of 5, and then for the first position I am assigning it to the none, and in the third position I am assigning it to NA, not a number. So now if I print, if you see the first position and the third position, if you see we have assigned the none, because in Python it's none, but ideally none is nothing but null only, right? So that's what has come up here. That's it. This is how we assign specific values. And now if you want, you can convert it to a Python list using toPyList. That's it. Here we have seen on how to create the just an array, right? So now in case if you want to create a list arrays, so arrays inside the array, something like that, we can even do that as well. If you see, so I want a total list of 4 elements, and in the 4 elements I am randomly selecting one element between 1 to 5, so that as per the number selected, those number of elements should be there in the list in that specific variable. So if you see, this is my total list, and inside which this is the first list, and this is the second list, and this third list is the null, and again the fourth list. So now next, if you see, we are creating the struct array. So in many programming languages we have the struct type, right, where we have the key and value. Similar to map, we have the struct also. So here also we can create the struct arrays. If you see PyArrow dot struct array from arrays, we have to create from arrays, right? If you see this, the first element will become the keys and the second becomes the value, something like that. So if you see PyArrow dot struct array dot from arrays, and here I am passing the num arrays and the char arrays, and here we are declaring the schema. That's it. So now if you print this struct array, you will get it both. The first one, the numbers which we have declared randomly between 0 to 100, select 5, and here between 65 to 90. I mean, here if you see, we are getting the textual information, because based on the encoded value, we are getting this char method in Python is used to get the character for the specific encoded integer. So that's why we are getting the strings here. That's it. So now if you see the struct array of 0, that means we should get 45 and p. See the both 45 and p with the column names num and char. That's what the column names are, right? Num and char. So this is how we can create the struct array as well. Now if let's go and see on how what is union array. So if you see the explanation at a high level, union arrays let you store different kinds of data in a single column. So for suppose we have multiple arrays, and if you want to fetch a specific element from that array and a specific element from another array, then in that case we have to go with the union arrays. So now I'll just show you. I mean, it will be little confusing, but when you see with the example, it will be very easy. So now if you see, I have an array of 5, 6, 7 elements, another array with false, false, true. Now if you see, I'm creating two things. One is types and another is the data. So what exactly is the types? If you see, types is 0, 0, 0. Okay. Now it is of type integer, I'm saying. Now this is how we create the union array. So pa dot union array dot from sparse, and this is the types, okay, and this is the actual data. These are the two arrays. We are doing union all of both two. So now why do you need types? What exactly is the types doing here? Let me show you. If you see, when I printed, it is of sparse union, and when a union or we get the both the values, type IDs and what is the first and what is the second. So if you ask me, so now if you see, they are mentioned as child 0 and child 1. So if right now in this union array we are doing a union of only two arrays, so that's why we got child 0 and child 1. If we are doing three arrays, then we'll get child 0, child 1, child 3, which I have down here somewhere. If you see, child 0, child 1, child 2, like that, because I have three arrays here, because I am doing union of all three. So this union all, you see, this union array is just nothing but unioning of multiple arrays, but it has one trick which we do with this type. So let's see what is that trick. If you see, I have declared pa dot array of 0, 0, 0. So what we are doing here is, I am fetching the first element from the 0th array, second element from the 0th array, third element from the 0th array. So all the data will be printed from 0th, which is XS. XS means this one, 5, 6, 7. The output should be 5, 6, 7. That's what we have, right? Union array we have done here, right? Union array of 0, 1, 2. We have only 3 here, so we can do only 0, 1, 2. So now let's see. I just tweaked little bit. If you see, I'm mentioning the type as 0, 1, 2. So what I'm doing here, I get the first element from the 0th array. So get the first element from the first array, get the second element from the first array. So here when you do 1, it is referring to ys. When you do 0, it is referring to xs. Here again you are doing 0, again it will refer to xs, because here we have 2. So what should we get from xs? What is the first one? 5 we should get, and from the first one, the second element, which is false, we have to get, and from the 0, which is this one, we have to get the third one, because in the third portion we should get 5 false 7. So when you print, we should get 5 false 7, like that. Let's see one more example so that you'll get better idea now. See, here I have 3 particular arrays and I am doing union of all 3 arrays, and how I am fetching using these types. So if you see here, I did union of all 3 and I have these types. So now if you see 0, 1, 2, what I am doing? 0 means it refers to xs, 1 means it refers to ys, 2 means it refers to zs. So what we are doing? 0, get the first element from xs, which is 5, we have to get here 1. So what you are doing? 1 means it has to refer to ys. So here we have to get the first element, which is this one, false, not the first false, second false. So now here 2 means it will refer to zs. So get the third element from zs, which is bars. So we should get this diagonal value, 5 false bars. So if you see, we got 5 false bars. That's it. If you see, we are doing union of multiple arrays only, but using these types we are fetching a specific value. It's like picking a specific value from different boxes. So one box can be of one data type like boolean, and another box can be of integer data type, and another box can be of string data types. Picking a specific value from each box and making another array. That's what we have done. That's what we are doing using these types. Okay. In case if it's not clear, I recommend you to just go back and watch again. It will be clear. Now let's go to another data type. So here if you see, we are creating a record batch, which we already saw. So PyArrow.record batch from arrays. This is the data. Okay, and this is the schema. That's it. When you print, we get it. So if you see, we can get the number of columns, we have number of rows, we have the schema. If you see, we are getting batch of 1. So batch of 1 means we should get this particular one. Foo bar bar. So foo bar bars none. So that's what we have got here. That's it. And now if you see, we are creating a table from arrays. How do we create? First we created arrays randomly. Okay, here we have created another one. Now if you see, PyArrow.table from arrays, and what is the arrays and the column names. That's it. When you print the table, we get the data. That's PyArrow table, data types and the values. In case if you want, you can get the schema, table.schema. In case if you want to specifically select a specific column, then you can do like table.column of id, table.column of value. I am converting it to a Python list. Like how we say we do select from a data frame in Spark, like df.select of column name, right? Similarly, we can do table.column of id. So that's it. Now let's go and see some of the compute functions in PyArrow. Okay, if you see, I just created a simple basic PyArrow array. That's it. I'm printing it. I got all this. That's it. Now if you see, I'm using PC. What is PC? So we have another module called PyArrow.compute to do all the computation. Okay. So now if you see PC.sum of this array, we'll get the sum all. Now if you see PC.mean of this array, will get all the mean value, like that. PC dot greater than 25, please print what are the list of elements. So just it will just print out true. So when you do PC dot greater than of 25, so from this array, what are greater than 25, print that. It will just print the boolean values like this, and using this filter condition, we have to fetch the specific values. That's it, greater than 25 from this array. That's it. If you see here, it is just printing the boolean, right? False, false. The first two are not greater than 25. From the next three are greater than 25. These three are greater than 25. So now let's see how we can do group by. Okay. Now I have a pandas data frame. Okay. It has two columns, category and value. If you see, I'm just doing group by category and aggregate of values sum. So in this column, do sum based on the category. If you see, it will sum these two A's and all these three B's and then C. So I should get like A30, B120. If you see, when I print out A30, B120, C60, because we have only one in C. That's it. This is how we will do group by in PyArrow table. And now if you see here, I've shown you how we can join two tables. So you have two data frames. I've created the tables from these two data frames, PyArrow.table from pandas, df1, df2, that's it. Now if you see, it's like straightforward. Table1 dot join of table2 on what keys and what type of join. That's it. And when I print it out, we'll get the data. Okay, this is the data. Now again, you can convert this into a pandas as well if you want. If you see here, I have already did a left join and again I have converted into a pandas. I got it similarly, the same join. If you see, now from this pandas data frame, I first created a record batch, and from record batch I am creating a table, and from table I am joining, and again the table I am converting into a pandas data frame. That's it. So here if you see, I am just filtering out the table. I just created a pandas data frame and I got a table, and on this particular table I am just filtering out. Okay, greater than 25. This filter condition I have applied and assigned it to a variable called expr, and inside this filter method I am passing it. So this table gets filtered out. That's it. That's how we got the data. Now let's see how we can create the UDFs in PyArrow. Okay, so now if you see, so I just have a simple UDF method here. That's it. Here what it is, it takes two arguments, converts them into a numpy array, and does the sum. That's it. pa.array of this numpy array plus this numpy array. So we created a simple function, right? So now let's see how we can convert this into a UDF. So we have to use PC, right? PyArrow compute PC dot register scalar function, and the method which you want, the simple UDF method, and the function name, function docs, input type and output type. So what is the name of the function? This one, same. And what is the, using this name only, we will use this particular UDF in the next. I'll show you how to use it. And the docs which explains this function, and what are the input types, what are the input types for this function, what is the output type for this function. That's it. So we register this particular function. So now once we register, we have to use that function. So let's see how we can use it. So I have two particular PyArrow arrays. That's it. Now if you see pc dot call function of this function using these particular arrays. So here I am just showing you how to use the UDF on array PyArrow arrays. Okay. So this result add will have the sum of these two arrays. That's it. 10 plus 1, 20 plus 2, 30 plus 3. See 11, 22, 33. That's it. This is how we basically register the UDF, declare a UDF and a logic whatever you want inside the UDF and register it and use it using the call function method. That's it. So here I have another example where if you see like categorize UDF, here I'm just taking one input. Okay, I'm converting into numpy array and I'm just checking whether numpy elements less than 22, then I'm returning low. If it is less than 75, I'm returning medium. If not, just high. That's it. I'm returning this particular output. That's it. And registering this scalar function. And now I'm calling this function here. That's it. Just a plain stuff and we are getting the output. Here also I'm applying them on the PyArrow arrays only. Let's see how we can apply them on the tables as well. So now here if you see, I have two particular arrays. Okay, and I'm creating a table out of this particular arrays. So now this table has been converted into a data set. So ds.dataset of table. This is how we need to use the UDFs. We have to convert the PyArrow table into a data set. Okay, now we have this data set. If you see first I have the data set, which is nothing but the table dot to table of columns, and here we have to mention what are all the columns we want. One is the value category. This is what comes from the UDF. So now how are we getting deriving this particular column? If you see here, ds.field of value. So on this particular column, apply this particular UDF, categorize. We have the UDF here, right? Categorize. This is nothing but the categorize UDF. So on this specific column, apply this particular UDF. So on an array, we are using pc.call function. On a table, to apply UDF on a specific column, we have to use that, first we have to select that particular column, dot call of that particular UDF. That's it. So now we are applying the UDF on this specific column, and the output of that specific column will be assigned to this particular new column named value category. So now when you print, we got this the particular third column which is derived using the UDF. That's it. So this is how we do some aggregations, or we do some joins, or we apply some UDFs in PyArrow. So now let's see some basic Panda stuff between PyArrow and Pandas. How to convert PyArrow to Pandas, Pandas to PyArrow, which we have already seen, but let's see a few examples. So if you see, I have a Pandas data frame. From Pandas, I am creating a table, pa.table from Pandas of the Pandas data frame. So this will be PyArrow table. And again, in case if you want to convert PyArrow to a Pandas data frame, you have to use table.toPandas. That's it. Now if you see, I have one particular Pandas data frame and this has the index as well. So now I will show you whether this index will go away or not. Okay. So using this particular Pandas data frame, I am creating a table, pa.table from Pandas. That's it. So this is a PyArrow table. Now this PyArrow table, we are converting it into a Pandas data frame. Okay, again. So when we convert this Pandas into PyArrow, the particular index column will be there, and again when you convert this particular PyArrow table into Pandas, we will get back this particular index. If you see here, the first one has the index, row 1, row 2, row 3. This is the index, right? Again the last, like df round trip data frame, right? So round trip data frame, this also has the index. So index will not go away when you convert from PyArrow to Pandas and Pandas to PyArrow. That's what I am trying to say here. So that's it, guys. These are all the few of the PyArrow techniques which I thought to share. So in this video, we have covered almost on the different data types in PyArrow, and how to do the computing in PyArrow, like how to do the group bys, how to do joining, how to do filters, and how to do the conversion between Pandas to PyArrow and PyArrow to Pandas. That's it. Thank you so much for watching.